Not all endings are happy endings. How are you guys? Fuzzy here. Sometimes I sign in not to play, just to capture specific footage. Like this scene right now, you've probably seen it before in my Trust No One video. I was sitting here, I just want to, capture this scene and leave. But then I noticed a sloop up north. I'm usually passive when I capture footage, so I try and avoid battle. I just want to capture the scene and get back to my work and editing software so I can publish the video on my channel on time. But I decided to take a closer look at these guys. Now keep in mind, from this moment until the end, there are no edits, no cuts, the whole thing just one scene of raw footage. From this distance, I cannot predict their behavior. I just check their destination and they're obviously heading towards me straight south. The reason why I'm sure about this is because if they're going to cash out, east is Moore's Peak, which everyone tries to avoid due to volcanoes, and west is Plunder Outpost, and they're definitely not heading west or southwest. I try and take a look at their flag to see if their sails are angled, because that gives me an idea that they might be new players that are heading here, careless about the presence of another ship, which you usually see, or they could be hostile, coming here to basically attack me. They're going around sinking people. So I decide to stock up regardless, just to be prepared. Now keep in mind, I have no idea what to expect. The least I can do is just stock up and wait by the ship to see what's gonna happen. If they attack, I attack back. If not, then let it be. Remember, I'm here to capture footage, I'm just trying to be passive. Now as I check them out from a closer distance, I notice that their sails are properly angled and their lights are off, so they're definitely heading to me and the chance of being hostile is very high. I decide to put the highest level out there, which is the ghost set on the ship, to kinda, show them that this is not a new player, keep a distance because I might attack back. I just want them to pass by. Then I decide to take another approach, which is actually look like a brand new player that is not aware of their presence. Usually whenever you do that, you give the element of surprise. So I put on some giveaway cosmetics. I think it was this is the obsidian set with some sea dog cannons and all that stuff that almost any new player or a very low level player can get. Now with that in mind, all they can see is a low level ship at the dock without sails dropped, without anchor raised or anything, so they assume that the player didn't even touch the ship yet, or I might be somewhere in the tavern just stocking up or AFK until my friends join. Now from that distance they can't tell if I jumped in the water or not. Just like they're not rendering to me, I'm not rendering to them. So now I left the ship there with the way it looks as a distraction, exactly like I did in my video how to stop and trick other ships by Lone Cove, if you remember, with my wife Jackie. This is the exact same technique I'm using here. They're eyeing my ship and all eyes are there and they don't even notice that I'm coming towards them. Now fortunately here I missed the ladder, which gives me a chance to look up and see this guy with a barrel trying to keg me. Now in this exact moment I had two options, either to wait for the guy to jump in the water with a keg and I shoot him in the water because he's not far from distance before getting to my ship, or check their crow's nest, and I realized that they have more kegs up there. So my choice was to shoot these kegs and blow them up while this person is close to them within range so he can get kegged and die too. Now luckily for me, this worked better than expected as the person jumping dropped the keg to the top deck, blew up and died too. Out of nowhere I realized that there's a guy that just spawned on the canopy, so obviously I decide to kill him. The one in the water is surely dead, and this guy seems like he's AFK, which is a problem because he could have saved the ship, but you can tell he's just standing there doing nothing. Now as they're both eliminated, I look in the water to double check the casualties, and there's nothing there, so I go to the ship and wait for them to see if they're gonna spawn. Now the fact that they died at an early stage before the ship sunk, there's a chance for them to spawn back even if the ship sinks somewhere around the mermaid. Now my ship is fine, untouched, and it was created perfectly as a ruse, or you can say a distraction for them, since while they're heading there, the last thing they can imagine is me attacking them from the back. Not that I meant to do that, I was actually gonna show them element of surprise by boarding their ladders, hopefully kill them, and drop some kegs from the top if they had any. But missing the ladder apparently made a better outcome for me, and gave me a chance to use their kegs against them. Now I waited here obviously to see if anyone would spawn back. You know, the ship just despawned and the mermaid comes up. And like I said, some endings are unexpected because they didn't spawn, but what spawned is around 36k worth of loot. Not all endings are happy endings, and I actually feel bad for these guys. I was just capturing footage. I stayed at this outpost for another 20 minutes to half an hour after, you know, just getting all the loot to the boat and all that stuff, because there's a lot of loot in here. And I'm gonna of course edit the scene after this to show you it on the robot after I gather all. Now it's been a while and none of them came back, and no one just abandons that much loot over sinking, because they clearly know that the loot is somewhere around Ancient Spire and I'm there. So I truly believe that the person who jumped with the keg rage quit because the other person was AFK for not repairing the ship. Now here basically the plan was to create a distraction of a low-level ship that pretends it's not aware of their presence so they can drop their guard. Clearly the outcome was better than I even expected, because I wanted to create the ship as a distraction so I can board them and hopefully, you know, stop them from attacking me. But the kegs did better for my favor. Over all that, I got 36k worth of loot that I ended up inviting my 6-year-old son to sell, and he made around 36 to 40k from it, and his eyes were as big as an anime character because he's never seen that much loot before, which was amazing. Thank you mysterious strangers for giving me that loot, delivered with Uber sloop right to my doorstep. I hope you guys liked what you saw, and I hope you like this strategy. I will be doing more of these as I encounter more situations like this in the seas. Feel free to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that bell button so you can stay up to date with my latest videos. On the other hand, feel free to follow me on my Twitch channel where you can see some of these situations live in action. Thank you for watching, Phuzzy here, and happy sailing!